Well, the local flights are exorbitant, but because of so many reasons. One, there's this difficulty of accessing the foreign exchange, which is used for training, spare parts, and all other services of the major airlines. You also you also have the issue of the health protocols that has increased their cost of operation. Then you have the insecurity in passengers from the mode of transport, which always has always been the most important to Nigerian passengers, but now everybody's avoiding the road now, and then you have so many passengers that chasing the few seats available. Then you can look at other things like the lack of support, the maintenance and repair organization in Nigeria now. We don't have that. Airlines have to ferry the aircraft outside the country, get some forex to pay, go through the process, book for their turn, and before they can get it back into Nigeria. So all these have put together when you put all this together, you can begin to look at why we have this increase in cost of airfares.
So what I can get from you is that the aviation sector definitely is part of the larger economic sector. So whatever happens to other sectors would also be felt by the aviation sector. The roads are in a very dilapidated state in Nigeria, though some roads have been, rehabilitated. A lot of people are not traveling by road anymore. So are you saying that because of that we're seeing more frequent or more air travel? How many people can afford that?
Exactly.
An average airline ticket is more than a minimum wage.
Yeah, I understand, but the industry relies on this early booking. If you're able to make your bookings before your travel, maybe about 3 to 4 weeks, then you can get a flight ticket just a little above the minimum wage. But if you wait for the day of travel, then it's not talking about the fares you're talking about. Nigerian passengers must try to make use of that opportunity in the industry that gives you that leverage. If you can book early enough and ahead of time of your travel, you can get a good fare. But thereafter, if you have to wait until the day or wait about a week before your travel, then you probably have to pay the exorbitant fare, which you're all experiencing. And you can also will also ask that, why are we having these fares when airlines are coming on board every day and we keep complaining in the industry? Well, the new airlines are capitalizing on the aircraft availability and manpower availability due to the COVID strike. So there are a lot of aircraft in place that have been pushed to the aircraft to the desert, and there are a lot of professionals who are now out of job due to this COVID. So airlines are making use of that, and you see we have so many airlines. Maybe when these airlines come on board, we'll be able to look at how fares will be affected.
Do we have so many airlines right now? I know there are a few airlines coming up. But how many airlines can be commensurate to our flying population? Because we are 206 million people in Nigeria. Many of us still travel by roads, even with the insecurity. So how many airlines will be good enough for our flying population, for those that can afford it?
Well, Nancy, you said it by saying the minimum wage. And now you're talking about the population of 206 million. Out of that 206 million, how many of them can really afford to travel? So if we go back to the amount of people that can travel, you're looking at maybe about 14 to 15 million people.
Okay, now my question is, you just hit my question on the head, which is, a lot of us are poor. Those of us that can afford to fly local airlines, perhaps that their prices are above minimum wage. The airlines that we have right now, can they service the 14 or 15 million flying population which we've talked about?
Well, no, in the sense that what we have, too many airlines with fewer aircraft. Airlines coming up with 1, 2 aircraft, and on the parade you have 2, 3 aircraft, and then when they show, some even have to show you on the list, 3 to 4 aircraft. But at the time, when it comes to operations, only about 2 operations. I think we do not have enough to sustain the flying public.
How about competition in the industry? Competition.
Yeah, you see, if you look at on the northern routes, the major airline there was Azman, and Azman was suspended. And when Azman was suspended, fares generally on the northern route went up because they had only Max Air to contend with. And And other airlines that tried to augment that period could not meet up with what ASMA was doing on that route. So the competition now on that route is not good enough, and that's what fares onto the northern route is high. And you also notice that there are 3 or 4 airlines have applied from the northern states to start operations very soon. Yeah, but for the southern part, yes, the fares are not too bad. I think the only one that has constantly stayed high is the Port Harcourt route, and you can maybe Port Harcourt, you can look at the quality of the passengers there, who do not mind what the fares are. Maybe that's why you see that that fare that is constantly on the high side. But generally, we need to encourage more competition, and as they come in, I see whereby the airlines will have to come together in form of merger. So we have to start having stronger airlines with about 5 to 10 aircraft operating, rather than have this 1, 2, 3 aircraft airline companies that we have in place right now.
In fact, let me ask this question, and perhaps which is the elephant in the room: is the Nigerian air industry a lucrative industry? Or it's just a matter of let's just do it because we don't have a choice? We must have an airline sector. Is it really a lucrative industry? Perhaps I should be asking Alain Onyema and his colleagues, the Oga of Air Peace and Co. Yes, because you have aviation, maintenance. So is it really a lucrative industry? Bearing in mind that inflation is there, cost of maintenance of air flights, planes, they take them on for A check or B check or CD check or whatever check they go for.
See, like you're saying, they said the easiest way for a billionaire to become a millionaire is to invest in the air transport industry. But how do you now put that with the present application? We have 23 airlines who have applied to join the industry. 3 of them should start any minute from now. United has started. Green Africa should join shortly. Then Cali Air. So when you say the industry is bad, so why are they coming in? And despite these 23 airlines, you still have the airline from NG Airlines, from AMCOM, which is an arm of the federal government. And the federal government is telling us today that they're setting aside $250 million to start the national carrier with a set of investors. So that's, do you now say that it's not profitable, yet they are coming here, people are interested, airlines people are applying, the government is having 2 airlines, NG with AMCON, and the new carrier, the national carrier that the minister is still pushing. So I think we just look at this and maybe we lead us to the public to say whether it's profitable or not.
Let's talk about this national carrier since you've come there. What do you think, really? Because I talked about it earlier on, and let me see if I can get the news again, that investors are to raise about $250 million to start up Nigeria's national airline. That is coming to 4 again. I remember, was it in 2018 or thereabouts, that the minister mentioned, what was the name of the carrier then? Is it Nigerian Air or so?
Nigerian Air.
You know, because it has so many names. Is this really a lucrative business?
They have so many names, so many acronyms.
Yes.
So many people watch what they are using now, from Air Nigeria.
Too many names that I can't even remember. Should we really have a national carrier because of pride? Or should it be business-driven? Because if you take a look at South Africa Airways, for example, they are in trouble. Kenya Airways is in trouble. Ethiopia, I guess, too. So if you take a look at some of those models, will it work?
The government stepped into ARIC and Aero because of the financial issues owed, and the government now owns ARIC, Aero, and the late Virgin Nigeria.
Are they still flying?
No, Air Nigeria is not flying. Virgin Nigeria is not flying. So we have the other 2 flying. Now the government, the same government, AMCOM is owned by the federal government, is starting a new carrier named NG.
Name what?
NG Airlines.
Okay.
So whether they're going to name it Nigerian Eagle or you just leave it as NG. The acronym is NG. NG Airlines, Nigerian Airlines is coming in. Now, if with AMCOM now having a carrier, then the Federal Ministry of Aviation is pushing another carrier under the acronym of a national carrier. We begin to see why we are confused, because when you are bringing all these airlines to come in and compete with 23 other domestic carriers, variably you make a mess of the pot. For me, I think there's virtually no reason for the national carrier. If the government has that money, the last time we were told was that they have suspended any issue concerning national carrier. But if they have such money, please, I'd rather put that money on infrastructure in the industry so that everybody can fly excellent. Because right now, most of the airports close by 6 p.m., which is one of the things that's affecting the fares because frequencies are not much enough and delays at the gates. And things that have made frequencies to reduce frequencies and increase fares. So we want to see that money channeled into infrastructure, develop infrastructure, so that airlines can fly more hours. Then we can have airlines. From these airlines, I strongly believe we can have a flag carrier from flag carriers, which can be more than one, can metamorphose into what we call our own national carrier. What is national carrier? They just want to have the government support. What I see right now is pride. I have said I want to do it, and I must do it. Whatever the consequences, whatever the economic consequences on the economy, on the country. My fear is we run into this national carrier in the next 5 years. When this government is no more there, the carrier would have issues, and we'll be back to the square one with debts associated to such airline.
Is the aviation sector well regulated in Nigeria? With especially with problems that those of us that are passengers face. Delay, sometimes you get to the airport, your flight is delayed, you get to buy another airline's ticket, your former one is not reimbursed back, is not reimbursed. Quite a whole lot of things happening. In fact, so one of the things that also upsets me, I don't know, I think it's changed now in some of the airports. You could be at the airport and it's normally a lady that announces those flights, and she'll be talking with, like they say, bedroom voice. You don't hear her. And sometimes you see people there that have missed their flight. You know, sometimes I ask, just call me in there, let me announce, let everybody hear that this flight is going on. I know you understand what I'm saying. So all those things, are the airline regulators not seeing all those things and do some checks and balances?
Well, when you say regulation, the regulation industry are divided into two. We have safety, which is non-negotiable, and economic. Now, the economic is where we have a problem, which falls within the area you talked about. That we had a BBM last week, the Aviation Roundtable, you know, and we did at the line program discussing these issues, whereby when a passenger comes to the airport to fly an airline and the airline is not available, that passenger should be able to use that ticket to fly on any other airline that is available and going to the destination the passenger was willing to go to on a destination airline. And that is our view in the issue, that there's a need to reduce the pain of passengers at the airport. And I agree with you that passengers are suffering at the moment. Passengers are left alone. The consumer protection is not really supporting them. And again, for consumer protection support, you also have to make a report, which is what most passengers don't do. You have to make a report. So before the consumer protection can take it off, they are not going to listen to those bedroom voices that you say you heard. Everybody hears that. Everybody hears that.
Yes, you know what I'm saying.
Report.
They won't talk.
Yes, I know what I'm saying. I know what they're saying. So there must be a formal report. What happened with you? There's a need for the Nigerian Airlines to come together. We're looking at a one ticket solution. But if you buy an airline A and the airline is not available, can be put on an airline B.
Okay.
Going to the same destination. The airline should now work out how they are going to get the funds from themselves. That should not be the business of the passenger, provided they are paying for the ticket.
Okay. Final question as we round up. Final question, and I will need you to answer that very quickly. The intervention in the aviation sector, the pandemic has also hit the aviation sector. A lot of jobs have been lost too, whether silently or loudly. What kind of pandemic relief are you expecting for the aviation sector if they will come? And what will reduce the pain of Nigerians? Because our research team this morning, for example, had some flight prices. And for example, Airpeace, Dana, Max, Ariki, Bomb, we had to get some of the prices. Abuja to Lagos at 3,000, 60,000 naira in the night. So you see that majority of this airfares are still more than minimum wage, like I said. So two questions in one, very quickly.
Yeah, but you see, the government sometime early this year released some palliative funds to the members of the airlines. Some of the scheduled airlines benefited. whilst one or two of them did not benefit from it. And also, I noticed non-scheduled operators, those who operate charter for the big men, also benefited. And I have a gross with that, because when you begin, those who can afford to buy tickets enjoy such priority. So I think that should have gone to scheduled operators, that have gone to cargo airlines, and also to the passengers. Today, the international flights are not full because of the cost of the COVID protocols, COVID tests, antigen tests, and all other things associated to that COVID protocols. And IATA just said that the government should direct such subsidy to the COVID test cost, so that passengers will fly. And in addition to going into the second part, outside those palliatives, I think the government should look at how they can reduce some of the cost of operation for the air, for the industry. I think some waivers should come from their agencies. They should get some waivers. Some tax loans, taxes should be waived for operators. And I also feel the loans needed by the industry now should come some guarantees from government. But most importantly, there should be an opening for that forex to get to the industry.
Okay.
Like the airlines and members are taking it from the black market, and that's huge, 480 naira. That is not helping the industry.
Okay.
There should be a special window for airlines, but it should come to the scheduled cargo operators.
Not to the private jets people.
Not the private jet owners and operators, please.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Ohunayo.
They are to feed the industry, not the other way around.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ohunayo, for joining us. I've been speaking with Olumide Ohunayo.
Thank you for having me.
Head Research and Corporate Travel, Zenith Consult and Travel. That's the much you can take on today's edition of the program. Thank you all for joining us. Don't forget to continue the conversation with us on our social media handles. They are live 24/7. I am Nancy Najibi, the best you can be, with the change that you want to see.